I found my bubbles! I found my bubbles!
Finishing the show, final stunt, the dangerous part, the exciting part.
Good morning guys, so today I am off to London shopping. I have not been shopping in London for ages. My hair is curled and it's like dropped, but it's still looking a little bit like full. I don't know what's happening with this one. This side is clearly the side I've slept on because it is a lot flatter, but there's every potential that I might have my hat on anyway if it's cold. I've just got dressed, so I'm wearing a burgundy jumper. That is my outfit. I have got like super cozy tights on. I have got some super cozy like nude tights on under my black tights. I'm not just going like rogue. And then I've got a thermal t-shirt on, a normal t-shirt and my jumper because I get very cold. And then I'm going to wear my coat and a scarf. So lay it up to the max because London gets cold from what I can remember. If I get too hot, that's on me. I've got everything in the kitchen sink in my tiny handbag. Like, I'm not joking. I've got a battery pack, I've got 2 spare batteries for my camera, a battery pack, hand warmers, my train tickets, my purse, lipstick, mints, all sorts of stuff. You know, my bag is absolutely bursting at the seam and I've got to fit my camera in at this point. Yeah, I'm going to London. It might end up being a bit more of like a voiceover vlog because I'm going with the girls from work and I don't want to look like an absolute loon. I don't want to look silly vlogging and I get a bit scared. I'm sure the girls at work won't mind, but I will see how much I film and how much I get like comfortable filming. But I really would like to be able to film a little bit more. I just want to take you along for the ride and see what we're doing. I am about to... I found my bubbles! I found my bubbles! Oh my gosh, I'm absolutely... It is 25 to 7 in the morning. I've been up since 5 and I'm very tired, but I found the bubbles. I wanted them to tuck my shirt in, you know where you like tie the side and tuck it in. I wanted them for my jumper. Do you know when I go down and I say I found the bubbles that were on my wrist? My other half's going to say, what on earth? How did you misplace those? And I'll be like... Because it's 20 to 7 in the morning. Oh yeah, that looks cute. Okay, that'll do. That'll be fine. I'm ready to go to London. I'm excited. I'm really excited. We're going to go to Selfridges, we're going to go to Winter Wonderland, and I'm going to take you along for the journey. I'm excited. I'm going to go and have 2 sips of my coffee, probably going to get a coffee at the train station. I don't know what we're doing. And I will see you in a bit. When we arrived to London, we stopped at King's Cross Station and we headed straight for Covent Garden Market. While we were there, we saw a few of the stalls set up and then we saw a street performer. I didn't film the entire street performance and we only saw a little bit of it in reality, but I thought I would share a little bit of it with you.
Try that again, that was a crap applause, yeah? Try it one time.
We then had a walk over to Leicester Square for their Christmas market. I am doing my best with all the place names, but if I do get anywhere wrong or if it's not quite accurate, then I do apologise. I think I found the winner for my favourite Christmas window display of the year, and it has to be Coach. The dinosaur, absolutely killing it. Walking up Bond Street was one of the highlights of the trip for me. All of the shops were absolutely stunning. They were decorated so beautifully and in keeping with all of the brands, which I naturally expected from such high-end designer brands. My personal favourite was the bow on Chanel, or definitely Cartier, which we will get to. Hublot is a little bit of a nod to an inside joke between the girls that I went with and myself, but it was just there for anybody else who might happen to see this and get it. Another beautiful Christmas tree, And here I am manifesting the Cartier. This is what I'd like under the tree this year. Tiffany's did look absolutely stunning, but I don't think it was the most Christmassy display of them all, but I am partial to a little night sky and stars. And Rolex obviously looked amazing, all the little watch dials and stars. We watched the man get his flag down and we were all very excited. And then we saw Fortnum and Mason, which we didn't actually go in. We did head to the Burlington Arcade, which was so lovely to see. Its decorations inside were the 12 days of Christmas themed. So the end we started at was the 12th day of Christmas, and we moved all the way to the first day of Christmas. And between all the chandeliers, they had each one of the days. So 4 calling birds, 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree, all the way down through the centre, and I couldn't resist. They had so many beautiful shop displays too, and honestly, everything I saw was so stunning. It was then back onto Bond Street, and I did love these red shoes. I could have quite easily come home with a pair of shoes from this trip, whether it be one of the small independent boutiques or one of the ones inside Selfridges. But all of the shop displays were so nice, I couldn't resist just filming them all. We then headed over to the Disney store, and I have not been to the Disney store for years. They closed all of the ones outside of London's Oxford Street, but it was so nice to just have a little mooch around. I filmed a little bit of an outfit, but it wasn't really working out, but I wanted to keep it any. We saw HMV decked out for the Stranger Things. I've not seen the new series yet, but I will definitely get on that very soon. We headed down Oxford Street to Selfridges, and they have a big Disney Castle display on the outside of the store to mark them also having the Disney store inside. When we headed inside, we saw the Christmas shop. Here's a nutcracker. I love a nutcracker. We saw all of the Disney cakes and pastries, and we couldn't resist a little look around the food court. The cakes were gorgeous. All of these lovely Disney cupcakes that I definitely couldn't eat, but I could get some gluten-free treats if I'd have wanted to. These were the Borough 22 doughnuts. They are all gluten-free, which is exactly what I need, and they were absolutely delicious. This is my little food haul bag because I felt really cool with my bag. Again, some lovely lights in Selfridges, and then this is over the escalators. It was blurry to start with, but here is a better view. I could not look over there, so it was a bit of a blind filming this one, but I can't look over them. I would love the Selfridge bag at Jellycat. I wish I'd have bought it. We did go for the parade at Selfridges, but I think the place we stood was not optimum for experiencing it. I wish I'd have known better, but you know, we live and learn, so we did actually abandon this after a little while. Look at the amount of people stood waiting for the Christmas display in Selfridges. They have like a special like parade thing on in the middle of the store at certain times of the day. It's easy to find on Instagram with the proper details, but everybody was literally packed around the escalator. We didn't get the best spot for this, so I filmed as much as I could, but we realised that the action was happening further down the store, and we just decided to abandon ship and leave this. So we went over to one of the other escalators to just move away from it. We weren't having any success, but it was interesting to see the little bit that we did, and all the confetti that was fired was different shapes, and a lot of it was Mickey shaped. So people were scooping up big handfuls of confetti to take home with them as souvenirs, but we didn't do that. heading back out onto Oxford Street, we decided to go to Ask Italian for our dinner. I had a margherita pizza off the gluten-free menu and it was actually alright. It was not the best gluten-free pizza I've ever had, but it was decent if you're around an Ask Italian. This was my outfit of the day. I wanted to do in just to show you. I was feeling really nice in that skirt and I just wanted to document it. Next it was over towards Hyde Park. We didn't actually pre-book tickets for Winter Wonderland as they had sold out on the website, but we just chanced our luck and they were having none of it. We couldn't buy them on the door, it was in fact full. Then we saw Marble Arch and a little bit more of Oxford Street. We did make our way back down Oxford Street to the tube station and it was so busy. We saw lots and lots of lovely displays, but as you can see here, it was absolutely rammed when we went through. I could not film pretty much anything. We then went on the tube and I have to say I am very, very new to the tube. It is definitely a new experience for me. It was so lovely to go to Westminster and see Big Ben and the London Eye and everything lit up across the river. It just looked so beautiful and I love how it all looks as it was getting dark. I think it's so pretty. We'd done about 24,000 steps here and it was on the final tube down to the main train station of King's Cross to get back up to where we actually live. And then we had to walk up a lot of stairs. So I am home from London. I am in my pyjamas. They've literally walked through the door and gone and put my pyjamas on. I am absolutely shattered. I have got a few different health problems that I probably need looking into again. But if I walk too much or do too much exercise or anything, my entire body aches and hurts. And so I've just done 24,500 steps today, and as soon as we got on the train and sat down, we were on the train for about an hour and a half maybe, my entire body just sort of stopped. And I'm okay while I'm going, so all the time we were walking in London, I was absolutely fine. I can keep going and keep going. And I can feel the pain starting, but whenever I'm moving, it's okay. And we sat down to have dinner. We went to Ask Italian and we had pizza. I don't actually think I filmed my pizza, but we had an Ask Italian and we had pizza about 3 o'clock, and we got into London about 9. So then by 3 o'clock when we sat down for pizza, I got up to go to the toilet after we'd eaten and everything, just before we carried on going. And I couldn't walk up the stairs properly to get to the toilet. It was madness. And then when we stopped off at the toilets to at the train station to come home, I sat down on the toilet and my knees were just in agony, and then pushing myself back up to stand up, I was oh my god, I can't move. But the pain goes all across the bottom of my back. It goes mainly down my right hip and then all the way down to my right knee. Because I'm young and fit and healthy, but yeah, I feel like I'm pretty much a write-off at this point. My hair has dropped a little bit more, but it was surprisingly dry today. We held off right until the very last second to say how nice the weather had been today. If anything, I was a little bit on the warm side. I'd got a thermal layer, a t-shirt, my jumper, a pair of the thick fleece-lined tights from Primark, a pair of normal, thin black tights, a pair of socks, and my skirt. And then obviously I had my coat and my scarf. I forgot my gloves and I forgot my hat, but I didn't need them, so that was absolutely fine. I mainly took my hat in case it rained so that my hair didn't get super wet, because I didn't want to take an umbrella, and my coat didn't have a hood. And yeah, so there's that. This'll be it's just everybody saying that they've got home, because you know, we do that thing where we're like, text when you're home. It's one of, I went with the girls from work, I think I said that this morning, and we basically walked the length of London. I used the tube for the first time today. I've never been on the London tube. Every time I've been to London before, we just literally walked. I've been with my husband a couple of times, but I don't go to London at all very often. We just didn't need to use the tube. I was actually younger, fitter, healthier, and not just a constant ball of pain when we last went. So walking like 20,000-30,000 steps across London never bothered us. So we did used to just walk everywhere whenever we went. We spent like a weekend there when we last went. We last went to London before I had my children, and my oldest is about to be 6. So we went pre-COVID, which like pre-2020. So you can imagine how long it's been since, you know, a lot has changed in that time. But yeah, I'm back home. And the only thing I bought, well actually I bought dinner. I've had a couple of coffees. That's my one that I got on the train. A bottle of pop that I've not quite finished. But I bought 2 things from the food hall. And I got a store guide for Selfridges. We went in Selfridges, lovely. I think what I'll do is either insert a couple of clips to fill out. Oh, I also bought a caramel crispy from Greg's when we first got down there, because they're gluten-free. And yeah, we went to Greg's when we first got down there, and everybody had like steak bakes and breakfast cobs and everything. I was like, this is the only thing I can eat. They were very considerate. If anybody that went with me is watching this, they were very considerate. They offered to go literally anywhere that had something. I was like, no, I'm honestly not hungry, so go where you want to go. But I got, and as soon as I knew we were going to London, this is the place I wanted to go. Borough 22 doughnuts. Now, these are naturally gluten-free. Well, not naturally gluten-free. They are made to be gluten-free, and they are plant-based. And every donut they do is gluten-free and plant-based. Obviously, I'm not worried about plant-based personally for myself, but I have to have gluten-free. And gluten-free food is surprisingly hard to track down for something that is a medical condition. So, I got a cinnamon sugar, and I have refrained from eating these all day because I wanted to bring them home and have them with a cup of coffee. And a vanilla glaze. They seem like they're going to be winners. My thinking was, I'm only down in London once. You can order these off the website. Let me just and back. So you can order these off the website, but they come in boxes of 6, I think. And I didn't want to order 6 donuts if I didn't know what they tasted like, or if they were good, or, you know, not saying that they wouldn't be good, like they've got decent reviews, but everybody likes different things. And yeah, so I thought, I'm sick of going in and out of focus, I can tell you that for certain. What is it trying to focus on? Is it just that it's dark? I didn't want to order them if they weren't going to be nice. Nobody else in my house is actually gluten-free. And I know that people who can eat gluten can eat gluten-free. But people who can't eat gluten can... What am I talking about? People who can't eat gluten can't eat regular food. Something like that. I don't know. My brain won't work. It wouldn't matter if my husband ate gluten-free, even though he's not gluten-free. Yeah. Anyway, I knew that people in my house would eat these donuts. However, I didn't want to spend like that much money on these donuts if they weren't even going to be nice, because my kids don't tend to like the gluten-free stuff regardless. And if you tell them it's gluten-free, they're always like, don't want to try that. Which tells you how good the gluten-free food is. Not very sometimes. There's a few gems, it's alright. I'm going to have one of those with a cup of coffee. But yeah, I think what I'll do is either do a bit of a voiceover over the clips, or just put some music over them, or I'll insert some little clips just to like explain what things are. But we saw Selfridges, we did all like is it Bond Street or New Bond Street or whatever it's called, with all the posh shops, and yeah, it was just lovely. So I will probably add in some extra bits as I'm editing, which you will already have seen. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed coming on a day out with me and seeing what I go up to. And I shall catch you all in my next video. Bye!